Welcome to the real world. My name's Cameron. Today we're talking about our summer movie preview. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Real World YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos. We're movie fanatics here, so if you are, you're sure to get a lot out of the channel. In this video, we're talking all about our most anticipated summer movies this year. So we're going to be talking about all the upcoming big blockbusters that I'm looking forward to. Let me know in the comments below which movies you're looking forward to most. But here we go. We're going to kick things off with the month of June. So we're looking ahead at June 2023. The first one that I'm really excited about is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This, of course, the follow-up to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is one of my favorite animated films of all time, and maybe the best Spider-Man movie ever made. I mean, it is fantastic, great characters, great unique animation style. It's really a comic book come to life. So I'm a huge fan of this original movie. The second one looks like it's going to be more of the same. Lord and Miller are back producing, and so we got a lot of the returning cast members as well as new cast members. It's going bigger, and that's what all good sequels do. It looks like it's a little bit of a darker storyline, and I've heard that it's going to end on a cliffhanger, setting up the third film, which is titled Beyond the Spider-Verse. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this trilogy of Spider-Verse movies. It kind of introduced mainstream audiences to the multiverse idea, which has become really popular now in the MCU and elsewhere. So very much looking forward to Across the Spider-Verse. Next up, the follow-up to Bumblebee, which was my favorite Transformers live-action film, came out a few years ago with Haley Steinfeld and John Cena. I thought they did a fantastic job with this movie, which sort of was a prequel and a reboot of the Transformers franchise. And the sequel, Rise of the Beasts, looks like it's going to be great. I mean, it looks like it has the typical Transformers action that we're used to. Hopefully it has the heart of Bumblebee, because that's what I think was missing from those earlier Transformers movies. And I think they nailed it in Bumblebee. So I'm excited to see what they do with the Transformers franchise moving forward, introducing all these new characters and new villains, bringing in Unicron, which was a big deal. So very much looks like it's going to be a big screen spectacle film. I just hope it still has the characters that you connect with, some humor that works and lands, as well as the big stunts and effects. So that's the hope for Transformers. All right, moving on to our next most anticipated film, another comic book movie. I'm a huge comic book fan, and we are getting The Flash. Of course, The Flash was introduced in Zack Snyder's Justice League. We actually got a glimpse of him in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice as well. But we really got to see him shine in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I'm really excited to see what they do with this movie. It looks like it's based on the Flashpoint comic books, which I'm a big fan of. So that's a great storyline. It's kind of the best Flash story out there, I think, the best one I've read. And I'm really excited to see how they connect with the other DC movies. Looks like we're going to do some time travel, multiverse shenanigans, because General Zod is back, but this time Supergirl's there, not Superman. So all kinds of interesting things. Of course, Michael Keaton's Batman is back. We're also getting Ben Affleck's Batman. So it's just all kinds of craziness going on in this movie. I'm really excited to see it. Looks like it's going to be spectacular visually, and it looks like it's going to have a lot of emotional weight to it as well. So that is one that is high on the anticipated list. Next up, Elemental. This is Pixar's next movie, and hasn't had a big marketing push yet, but all the trailers I've seen look really good. It looks like it's another unique idea for Pixar, which they're known for. It's an original idea, and I'm always excited to see movies that are based on new ideas rather than just sequels and reboots and prequels of things that we've already had. So that one is high on the list as well. My favorite Pixar film is WALL-E. I've got this awesome Criterion 4K set, which I highly recommend if you don't have. But I'm a big fan of all the Pixar movies, and so this one looks like it's going to be another great one. Next up, Asteroid City. This is the latest from Wes Anderson. I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. The Grand Budapest Hotel is definitely my favorite of his movies, although I like many of them. And Asteroid City, it looks like he's kind of tackling more of a sci-fi idea here. Another stellar A-list cast working with Tom Hanks for the first time here. as well as a lot of the people he's worked with in the past, like Scarlett Johansson and Jason Schwartzman. So a lot of good actors in that one, and I'm very much looking forward to kind of this new idea from the mind of Wes Anderson. He's got such a specific style, and I'm always excited to see what he does next. Next up is my favorite cinematic character of all time, Indiana Jones, the ultimate movie hero. He is back in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This film comes out late June, and I've already got my tickets. I am ready to see this on opening night. This is obviously my most anticipated movie. If you're familiar with the channel at all, I talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark all the time. It's my favorite movie. This whole franchise, I think, is just wonderful. I really enjoy all of these movies. The definition of escapism, just tons of fun. I have a lot of fun watching these movies. The craft behind them, I think, is spectacular. This is the first one Spielberg is not directing. James Mangold is coming in to direct, and he's directed some of the best movies of late. So I'm not really worried about it at all. I think they picked a really good director, writer to come in and give us one last adventure with Harrison Ford's most iconic character. All right, moving into July with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. The 7th installment of the Mission Impossible franchise. I was a huge fan of Fallout. I thought Fallout was one of the best action movies I've ever seen. And so if they're going to top it again, I mean, that's just going to be really quite an amazing feat. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of all those. I'm going to be rewatching all those. We're going to do an entire podcast on Mission Impossible coming up soon. So that one lands in July. So be on the lookout for more spectacular stunts from Tom Cruise and his amazing filmmaking team. Christopher McQuarrie returning to write and direct. He's proven himself time and time again. So that one is definitely one I'm looking forward to. Up next, another great filmmaker. I always look forward to his movies because he always does something unique and special. And that is Christopher Nolan. He is directing Oppenheimer. This is the true story of Mr. Oppenheimer, who created the atomic bomb. He's done the true story thing before with Dunkirk. Of course, that was a war film that kind of took place over a large area, over different periods of time. And so this one's getting more specific. It's more of a biopic, really, about Oppenheimer himself, whereas this is, you know, a kind of general war film, not about any specific character. So very much looking forward to seeing what he does again. Shot it all in IMAX, so it's going to look spectacular. Supposedly there's some huge practical explosion they set off. Another A-list cast. I mean, it goes straight down the line from Matt Damon to Emily Blunt to Florence Pugh to Robert Downey Jr. Cillian Murphy, of course, is leading the cast. It's just absolutely incredible, the actors that he gathered for this film. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one too. Coming out the same week as Oppenheimer is Barbie. Now, this movie is not one I would think I would be interested in until I saw the trailer. And it looks like they're doing something very unique with this IP of Barbie that's out there. It does not look like what you'd expect a Barbie movie to be. Of course, there have been animated Barbie movies in the past. This is nothing like that. Margot Robbie starring with Ryan Gosling and another big ensemble cast. Greta Gerwig is writing and directing this one. I've liked all of her work in the past, so this is one that I'm definitely curious about, even though it might not be my most anticipated of the year. It's one that I'm just kind of interested in seeing what she ends up doing with. Then we have Haunted Mansion from Disney. This is the remake of the Haunted Mansion starring Eddie Murphy. It's of course based on the theme park ride. This one looks like it's more based on the ride than that movie was. That movie kind of paid homage to the ride in certain ways, whereas this one looks like it's actually based on the story of the ride in some ways. It's got a great cast, including Rosario Dawson, Danny DeVito, Owen Wilson, Lakeith Stanfield. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it's going to be funny, but it's also going to have some horror elements in there as well. So it's going to be, again, kind of like the ride. It'll kind of scare you, but kind of make you laugh at the same time. So that's one that I'm definitely interested in too. Now we're moving into August with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. One of my favorite franchises ever is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've got this awesome pizza box packaging here for all of the movies, all the first 4 movies in the franchise. I have 3 younger brothers, so we're big fans of Ninja Turtles. We're planning on seeing this one together in theaters. Looks like they're leaning into the teenage aspect. They're younger, they're a little more irresponsible, a little sillier. They're kind of leaning into that whole element of it. I really like the recent remakes as well. I actually like those live action versions they did with Megan Fox and Stephen Amell. But I didn't think they were great. They're not as great as the originals, so I'm hoping this one does something a little different, which it looks like it is. The animation style looks really unique as well, and so that's one that I'm definitely looking forward to. The trailer really hooked me. It's got another great voice cast, so hopefully that one will be stellar. Up next, there is a movie based on a video game called Gran Turismo coming out. Now, I'm very familiar with this game because an uncle of mine was a big fan. I'm really interested in what they're going to do with this. It's based on a true story of a kid who played the game so much he actually ended up becoming a real race car driver. So it's kind of one of these inspiring true stories. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. David Harbour's in it along with Orlando Bloom. Neil Blomkamp is directing it. He's directed some great movies in the past, including District 9, Elysium, Chappie, movies that I'm a big fan of. I like his sci-fi storytelling, very unique. This is, of course, something totally different. It looks something like Ford v Ferrari, which I was a huge fan of. I think this is an excellent movie, one of the best race car movies I've ever seen. Written and directed by James Mangold, by the way, who's doing the new Indy movie. So very much looking forward to Gran Turismo and interested in seeing what they end up doing with it. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. This looks really, really scary. It looks like a great horror movie. It's giving me vibes of something like Alien or The Thing, where people are trapped with a creature they can't stop, and it's kind of hunting them down one by one. It looks like it's going to be really, really eerie. The kind of vibe of the trailer is just haunting. So definitely for horror fans, I'm not a huge horror guy, but this is the kind of horror stuff I gravitate towards, and it definitely looks like it's going to deliver on the scares. So that one is one that I'll be watching too. Last but certainly not least is another DC Comics property, Blue Beetle. This one is getting his first live action film. We've seen him in animation before, but we've never seen him in his own live action movie. It looks like it's going to be tons of fun. Zola Marzuena is starring as Jaime Reyes. People know him from Cobra Kai. He looks like he's going to be a great Blue Beetle. It looks like exactly the kind of Blue Beetle movie Blue Beetle fans from the comics would want. It's got the humor, it's got the family element, it's got the crazy tech, lots of action as well. So it looks like it's going to be a really fun origin story set in the DC universe. And it'll kind of be the first DC movie after The Flash sort of reboots the timeline, and we get this new DC universe that James Gunn is building. James Gunn, director of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, now in charge of the DC films. And so I'm really interested to see what they end up doing with it, how it connects, how it sets up things to come. I really just want it to be a great movie though, and that's what I'm hoping, and that's what the trailer looks like it's going to deliver. So very much looking forward to Blue Beetle as well. All right, well that takes us all the way through August. So if you are looking forward to one of these movies, let me know in the comments below which one you want to see the most. Maybe give me your top 5. That would be great. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we'll see you next time right here on The Real World.